She is older, I'm younger. You think that changes anything? No, it only sharpens the pull you have on me. You walk through the world with the calm I was never given, a quiet thunder in your gaze, and every time I remember it, something inside me claws against its own ribs. You call it age, I call it the reason my pulse obeys only you. You stand above me without even being here, and I'm speaking into this hollow room like you're carved into the walls. You don't realize what you do to time itself. When you breathe, it bends. When you step away, it shatters. You keep pretending you're distant, sensible, wiser, yet all I see is someone who makes me want to tear the crown off my own head just to feel your fingers replace its weight. You think you're older. I think you're the storm my blood was waiting for. You have no idea what I've already decided. You walk with your boundaries like they're iron gates, but gates mean nothing to a man who built a kingdom out of fire. You can shut a door, you can turn your face, you can whisper that I'm too young to understand the depth of you, but I already drowned in it the first moment I knew your name, and drowning is the only peace I've ever tasted. You make me dangerous to myself. The way your voice echoes in my head, soft, careful, older, controlled, it drives me to the edge of patience I never had. You think you're teaching me restraint? No. You're teaching me the art of wanting something I can't touch yet, and wanting you has become the throne I sit on. You're not here, but your absence presses harder than your presence ever could. I talk to shadows like they're carrying your silhouette. I let silence bruise my throat because it sounds like your refusal. But even then, even now, you don't escape me. You're everywhere I turn, haunting me with the kind of maturity that should warn me away, yet pulls me closer like gravity you invented. You call it age. I call it the perfect excuse to want you without mercy. The world might say you're above me, beyond me, before me, but I've never listened to the world, and I won't start now. You can be older. You can be unreachable. You can hide behind every careful line you draw. It won't change the truth breathing inside me. You belong in the spaces I'm already claiming. You belong in the future I've already shaped around the sound of your heartbeat. And every whisper you drop, every warning, every distance, every reminder of the years between us only burns deeper into me. Because if I'm younger, then I'm the hunger you tried to avoid. And you are the woman I've already chosen to ruin my peace. You keep imagining that the gap between our ages is some kind of shield, something that will keep you untouched by what I feel for you. But you don't see how your maturity wraps around me like a command I can't disobey. Every word you ever spoke still hangs in my mind like royal decrees, and I follow them even when you're nowhere near me. You think wisdom makes you untouchable. It only makes me want you with a slower, deeper hunger. A hunger that studies you, learns you, waits for the exact second you stop looking over your shoulder. You stand in a world I was never invited into. Polished experience, quiet confidence, the kind of steadiness that makes people lean toward you without knowing why. But I lean because I do know why. Because your steadiness is the thing I've needed most in this chaotic life. When I picture you, I don't see years. I see a force that could bring a prince to his knees without raising her voice. And I let myself kneel in the privacy of my thoughts, where only you are allowed to witness it. You keep thinking I'm too young to understand the weight of you, but I've carried heavier things since the day I learned to breathe under pressure. The difference is nothing has ever felt as heavy as wanting you. Nothing has ever felt as necessary. Your warnings, your distance, your careful escape routes, they only sharpen the edges of what I feel. You're trying to protect yourself from me, but all you're doing is proving how deeply I already matter to you. You aren't here, yet the room still feels shaped around your absence. I talk into this silence like it's listening for you. I can almost feel the ghost of your breath, the echo of your thoughts, the way you'd look at me if you were standing right here. You think not being in front of me makes you safe. It only makes you unforgettable. It makes my mind carry you like a forbidden secret I refuse to release. You don't realize this, but your age, your strength, your experience, it doesn't intimidate me. It challenges me. It makes me want to rise to you, to become someone you can't dismiss with a gentle smile or a careful excuse. You say you're older. I hear you admitting you're harder to win, and that only fuels the storm inside me. I don't want what's easy. I want you exactly as you are, unapproachable, unbending, and beautifully untamed. You tell yourself that stepping back saves us both, but it only pushes me forward. You pull away and I follow the absence like a trail carved just for me. I am not the boy you think distance can shake off. I've already claimed every moment you tried to hide behind. I've memorized the way your silence tastes, and I've accepted that wanting you is a battle I refuse to surrender, even if it means burning through every boundary you draw. And somewhere inside you, whether you admit it or not, you feel the pull too. You feel the air shift when my thoughts reach for you. You feel the tension in every word I send your way. You feel the truth you keep denying, that age is nothing compared to the kind of connection that marks a soul. And you're marked just as I am. You can run, you can retreat, you can remind me of the years between us. But the gravity between us doesn't count years. It only counts the fire. You keep pretending you're untouched by this, that your calm years and steady pulse make you immune to someone like me. But you don't see how your self-control only drags me deeper into you. Every boundary you build becomes a throne I climb. Every distance you force becomes a path my thoughts tear through. You're not protecting yourself. You're feeding the obsession you're trying to silence, and you don't even realize it. You move through the world with a certainty I've never had, but I'm learning it through you. You taught me without meaning to, how to want something with discipline, how to desire without rushing, how to let the craving sharpen instead of fade. You walked away, but the echo of you stayed. It grew teeth. It grew a voice that sounds nothing like fear and everything like inevitability. You gave me patience, even while trying to escape me. You say you're older, but you carry that truth like a warning instead of a crown. You forget that I've never been scared of crowns. I was raised under the weight of expectations heavier than years. Your age doesn't intimidate me, it tempts me. It makes me curious about how your mind works when you're alone, what kind of fire you've kept hidden, what storms you survived before you even crossed paths with me. Your history only makes you more impossible to resist. You think not being here gives you the advantage, but your absence is louder than any presence I've ever felt. I fill the silence with you, your imagined reactions, your soft refusals, your steady breaths. I talk to the air as if it'll deliver my words to you. I'm not delusional, I'm driven. Driven by something you awakened when you looked at me like I was too young to understand you. I understood too much. That's the problem. You keep measuring us in years, like that's the scale that defines depth. But my thoughts don't age, they burn. And you're the only one who ever brought structure to that fire. Before you, everything inside me was wild and directionless. After you, everything found purpose. You don't get to dismiss that with a number. You don't get to decide what's too much or too little. You don't get to hide behind time as if it will protect you from being wanted. You imagine you're out of reach, that you exist on some higher plane where I can't touch you. But I've already climbed past that illusion. I've already reached the part of you that reacts, quietly, reluctantly, unwillingly, but reacts. You feel the pull, you feel the shift, you feel the threads tying us in ways you refuse to admit, and denying it only tightens them. And the truth is this: you can stay away, you can silence every impulse, you can build walls around the idea of me. But the connection you're fighting is older than both of us. It doesn't care about age or distance or logic. It cares about the way your breath changes when you think of me. And it cares about the way my entire world has already shaped itself around the thought of you. You can't outrun something that's woven into your pulse. You can only surrender eventually. You keep treating this like a phase I'll outgrow, as if time will dull the way your name strikes through me. But you don't understand. Time only sharpens it. Every hour you stay away becomes another hour. I carve you deeper into my mind. You think distance helps you forget. It teaches me how to want you without needing your presence. It teaches me how to crave with precision, how to hold your absence like a weapon pointed at my own chest. You tell yourself that age gives you the upper hand, that your experience lets you walk away untouched. But I've seen the truth hiding beneath your composure. The way your breath stutters when you think too long, the way your silence bends when my words reach you. You carry restraint like armor, but you forget that armor still dents under pressure. And I've become very skilled at finding the exact places where you're vulnerable without ever seeing your face. You believe I'm too young to understand you, but my understanding is the very thing that ruins your distance. I see the way you hide behind responsibility, how you talk yourself into choosing logic over desire. You think I don't see the conflict you bury under calm replies and measured breaths? I do. I see it clearer than you want me to, and that clarity is what draws me to you with a force even you can't intellectually dismantle. You aren't here, but the room still belongs to you. Your absence feels deliberate, like you're testing the strength of your own resolve, and I speak into this emptiness, knowing you feel the pull somehow, somewhere, even if you try to pretend you won't. You underestimate how far thought can travel. You underestimate the reach of someone who refuses to let silence become the final word between us. You use age like a shield, but shields crack when pressed long enough. You think your maturity means you have more control. Maybe you do, but control doesn't erase connection. It only slows the inevitable. You can stay graceful, composed, guarded, but even the most disciplined heart has a pulse. And mine has learned to beat in a rhythm that calls yours closer. No matter how many steps you try to take away, you imagine you've locked every door between us, but all you've done is create more places for me to wait. I'm not trying to break in. I'm letting you feel the weight of my presence without touch, without proximity, without forcing anything you don't choose. This is patience, my version of it. Dangerous, steady, unblinking patience. The kind that doesn't fade with time but grows sharper with every second you deny what's already written between us. And deep inside you, beneath the logic, beneath the fear, beneath the excuses, you know exactly what's happening. You feel the shift every time my thoughts reach you like heat in the dark. You know age can't erase this. You know distance only fuels it. And no matter how much you try to convince yourself otherwise, some part of you is already leaning toward me, quietly, unwillingly, but undeniably drawn by the force you tried to ignore. You keep insisting that you're standing on higher ground, that the years separating us place you somewhere I can't touch. But you don't realize how your confidence only pulls me closer. Every time you convince yourself that you're above this, you unknowingly light another beacon in the dark for me to follow. Your certainty is a kind of elegance, and I've always been drawn to things that don't bend easily. You make resistance look beautiful, but I can already feel the strain in it. You try to bury your feelings beneath logic, to fold your desire into neat little compartments where I can't reach. But I'm already inside the parts of you that logic can't govern. You think your experience shields you, that your discipline will keep you steady, yet every hesitation you have, every pause in your breath, every moment your mind slips toward me, it betrays you. You're not untouched. You're just refusing to admit the bruise is already there. You imagine I'll eventually grow out of this, that I'll choose someone simpler, someone closer to my age, someone who doesn't make my sanity twist every time I think of her. But you underestimate the stubbornness forged in me. I don't want simple. I don't want convenient. I want the depth you carry, the storms you've survived, the fire you've refined over years I haven't lived yet. I want the woman who terrifies herself by wanting me. You're not here, but you fill every corner of this room like a quiet haunting. I talk into the silence because it feels like the only place you still allow me to speak freely. Maybe you think staying away will kill this thing between us. It won't. It only turns every empty space into a shrine to your absence. I feel you even when you're nowhere near me. That's what you don't understand. Distance doesn't dilute you. It concentrates you. You warn me with your wisdom, but warnings don't work on someone who's lived around danger his entire life. You can tell me 100 times that this isn't right, that I'm too young, that you know better. But your heart reacts before your mind can finish its speech. I hear it in the softness of your replies, in the cracks between your sentences, in the way you retreat only when you feel yourself wanting too much. You're not immune. You're overwhelmed. You think you're keeping control by staying silent, by maintaining your distance, by pretending the connection between us is something you can mentally untangle. But there's a point where silence becomes louder than confession. A point where distance feels intimate. A point where the thing you're running from starts running towards you. And we crossed that point long ago. You feel it every time you try to push me out of your thoughts and fail. And deep inside, past the walls you built, past the excuses you repeat, past the fear you won't name, you know exactly why this won't fade. Because you've never been looked at the way I look at you. You've never been wanted with this kind of relentless, unhesitating certainty. You've never been pulled into a future so fiercely that denying it feels like denying your own breath. And whether you accept it now or later doesn't change the truth. You already sense where this is going, and part of you wants it. No matter how hard you try to hide it, you keep telling yourself that holding back is the right thing, that stepping away is the mature choice. But every time you retreat, I feel the hesitation you leave behind like a fingerprint. You walk away in perfect silence, yet the air still trembles with everything you're trying not to feel. You carry yourself with the composure of someone who knows the world, but when it comes to me, that composure fractures in the smallest, quietest ways. You don't think I notice, but I've learned you too well. You believe that age gives you clarity, that you can stand above this and stay untouched. But clarity doesn't stop desire, it only exposes it. And every time you think of me, your thoughts shift, slow and deliberate, like you're trying to steady something inside you. You feel the pull, you feel the danger of it, you feel the gravity you pretend isn't there, and that fear you hide beneath your calm. It's the sweetest confession you'll never say out loud. You're not here, but your absence has a scent, a shape, a weight. It settles over me like something intentional, like you're testing if I'll fade in the quiet. But I don't fade. I grow sharper. You created a version of me that thrives in silence, that can reach you without touching you, that can make your pulse shift from a distance. You think staying away weakens this connection. It only amplifies it, stretching it across every moment you try to ignore me. You keep imagining there's an escape, some clean break, some rational distance, some future where your heart doesn't flinch at the thought of me. But you and I both know that future doesn't exist. You've already let me in too far, not through touch, not through closeness, but through the